I'm here today to talk about trauma in the workplace, what it looks like, and how we as employers can help our employees to work through their trauma and become more productive employees like they were before the trauma. So, what is trauma? Trauma is in the eye of the person who is experiencing it. So what may be traumatic to me may not be traumatic to somebody else. So we have to take into account that the person can define their own trauma. Trauma can be anything from breaking a leg, falling out of a tree, having a divorce, someone dying, witnessing a traumatic event, witnessing a violent event, a rape. It's anything anybody wants to say has been traumatic for them. So, effects of trauma. If I have experienced a traumatic event, the effects of trauma can come out by me shutting down or withdrawing. It could come out as me becoming more irritable or angry or less tolerant of things that happen in the workplace. I might be unorganized and unusually organized. It might be that I can't concentrate, or my attention to detail isn't up to what it used to be. It might be that I fall asleep a little bit on the job, or I'm tired or yawning all the time, or I'm always eating. It affects a lot of different behaviors in different people. So, what would be the triggers? Sometimes a smell can be a trigger to somebody. Their mother just died, heart attack, they were very scared, and the smell of bread from the bakery down the street triggers memories of their mom, and they start becoming tearful and they can't concentrate at work. Sometimes it's something that you see, sometimes it's a word that somebody says, sometimes it can be a thing or a room. It may even just be the day of the month or the day of the week. We never know exactly what someone's triggers are, and sometimes they don't know that either until they happen. So, one of the worst things we can do is to be able to say, what's wrong with that person? It's much better to think, what has happened to them and how can I help? That's such a non-judgmental way of approaching an employee who has or could have maybe experienced trauma. So, talk to them one-on-one, away from the ears of others, or approach one of their good friends at work and see if that person has some information that might be helpful for you in being able to devise a plan to help them while they're going through this traumatic experience or its after effects. It could be that you provide the employee with one-on-one with you, and then you develop a plan where they can have more often breaks, or they can listen to calming music during the day with some earphones, or maybe they can have a smell or something that calms them down, a scent in their office space that doesn't bother others. It may be that you offer them the EAP, Employees Assistance Program, for counseling. It may be that you provide them information about counseling agencies that are in the town where you work. It may be that you provide them with a pastor, faith-based person that you can have come to the office or that they can see outside of the office. Maybe as an employer, you or the person's friend could go to the counseling session, at least getting them there and waiting for them to be able to help them over that hurdle. Counseling takes time. Talking to somebody once or twice isn't going to make everything better, but each session helps, and it depends on how many traumatic experiences that the person has had on whether or not they recover quicker or that it takes a lot longer time for them to recover. So, patience, knowing that counseling is a process, and the goal is to be able to get your employee back to the productive level and the quality of life level that help them be an asset to your workplace so that everyone benefits, both you and the person.